What's up? V8 Mark here. I want to talk to you guys today about picking a 22 LR rifle for SHTF. Actually, to begin with, I want to talk about whether you need it or not. Do you need to add it to your protection detail? Let me move this over a little bit. Yeah, do you need to add it to your protection detail? Well, there's a couple things floating around out there. People are leaving comments on one of my videos where I talk about the center fire rifle to get semi-auto on a budget. You can go to my channel, search for budget semi-auto in the search box, and you'll find that video. And I get a lot of people saying, well, why not 22 LR? Why not say that one? Well, I was specifically talking about center fires there, but they do have a point, and I don't really fully agree with them, but to a certain extent I do. And they're saying that a 22 LR is the rifle that you need because the ammunition is available everywhere, everybody will have it, so you know that's the one to get, and you can protect yourself, right? Well, I don't necessarily agree with that because I don't think it has enough power to effectively kill when you need it to. It might not have enough. It's not going to have enough kinetic energy. Yeah, shot placement is critical, but you know how hard those are in a time critical moment, or like in a moment where you're just adrenaline's pumping and you're not so well focused as you are when you're at the range or something like that. So that's why I think it's not like the best caliber like it's the only caliber you need. I think it's one that you should throw in there because you could use it. You could still use it to protect yourself. You can hunt with it. You can trade with the ammunition if you need to, and you could also arm weaker individuals. Weaker individuals could be older people or even younger kids as well. So that's probably one reason why I would keep it around. But more likely I would not throw it in the protection detail unless I really had to. I would primarily keep it for hunting and basically just that, and trading the ammunition or receiving ammunition as well. Some other things about it, why you can't use it for protecting yourself. People are talking about this video that Iraqi veteran 8888 posted. That's his username on YouTube. Him and that other guy, Barry, they both made this video showing a 22 LR is effective out to 400 yards based on how much it penetrates a piece of wood. I'm not sure if that's the way, if that's a real way of doing it or whatever. I haven't researched it, so I cannot accept it. I can't deny it. I'm not going to really talk about it. If you believe it, that's fine. I kind of do believe it though, but that's, some people don't. They show that it's effective to 400 yards or so. And so people are taking that information and saying, oh, well, that's perfect. That's all you need. Well, the thing is, the ballistics are not that great on 22. It's not as fast. It doesn't have enough mass to the bullet, so the wind is going to push it around. So it really doesn't have good ballistics for that reason. So it's not, too good. I mean, at 100 yards, if it's a not so breezy day, you'll do fine. You'll be able to hit your mark. If it gets a little too breezy, you may not be able to hit exactly what you want to hit. So you might want to look into that too as well, when you're making your selection of protection detail firearms. Protection detail meaning your main set of firearms you would use to protect yourself. Just for your information, if you're wondering what that meant when I was saying that. So is it a good choice for SHTF? Yes, it is. Obviously it is. Everybody's going to agree with that, but not your main rifle. Okay. So how about picking a rifle regardless of the situation? Which one do I pick? Now this is mainly geared for newer people. If you're looking into a different rifle to get, or maybe you don't have enough, or you don't have one at all, and you're looking for one. Well, I want to kind of hit on a few things that will help you make your decision. So here we have a Ruger 1022, very popular in America. Almost found in every home, I would say. This is a Lakefield Mark II bolt-action rifle with a 3-9x40 scope. Actually, that's not by 40. It's 3-9 by something else. I want to say maybe 32, something like that. So this is the old Savage rifle. Savage Mark II, I believe. That's the company it became after Lakefield. It's an old rifle. This is a Mossberg Model 380. This is also a very old rifle. Tube fed through the stock. That there is a Marlin Model 60 with a Dragunov stock. I hate the stock, it's junk. The wood one broke. But yeah, that's that. That's a Model 60 tube fed, and they're just recently started coming out with magazine fed Marlin Model 60. So those are also great ones out there. Very popular. You'll find them everywhere. And like I said, they're still making them today. You'll find them everywhere. That also has a 4x15 little C.A.R. old school scope from the 80s that originally came on this Mossberg. That it's not even sighted, and I just have it on there for whatever. This here is a 4-16 by 40 scope. That's kind of going to be my squirrel hunter. So that's that. Now, which one of these should you pick? Well, there's a few things you need to note, and that's that semi-auto, semi-auto, semi-auto right here, and then bolt action, tube fed, magazine fed, okay? Then this tube's in the front, and this tube's in the stock. So there's a lot of differences going around. I have a little note sheet here. One of the biggest thing to look out for is to have a big breech where you can stick your finger in there and work on the round if something happens. You know that's popular with 22 ammunition. You get a little nosedive, you know, something happens where you need to work on it because the ammo's dirty. They're not that great at feeding all the time. This one really doesn't have that many problems. The Marlin every once in a while does, and I haven't shot this one enough. I recently got it to see if the problems still persist with this one. This one has some nosedives in it. And the bolt actions, it has it every once in a while. Not too bad. So you want a big breech opening. Here you can stick your finger in the 1022. A little restrictive if you got a bigger finger than mine. Mine basically fits in there with a little wiggle room. After that I start shaving pieces of my skin off in the receiver. The Marlin is also the same way, not too bad. The Mossberg is the worst. It has a very tiny breech, almost twice the size of a 22 shell. Like take two 22 shells and put them like this. That's as much room there is there. Not too much. Not good at all. I was trying to work on a round. I couldn't put my finger in there. I have to have a tool. You know, when you have to have a tool, it's an extra thing you got to add on. If you don't have it, you got to find a stick, break the stick in there. Big problem. So that's something to look out for. I never really thought about that until I got this rifle. So that's something I watch out for now. Bolt action, really easy. When you open this bolt up, I would say more than these, because the top of the breech is opened up. So you can actually load them one by one, and you can work on the the breech when the round doesn't guide in right. Put your finger in there, guide it in, slide the bolt forward. This one's the easiest to fix and operate. This is the worst. These two are the same. So when you're looking for a rifle, you want to look for something like that. Now, magazine fed, is it worth it? Hell yeah, it is. Tube fed, problem is you got to sit down, you got to stop, reload it. Now this is talking from a perspective where you're protecting yourself. I guess if you think you're going to be shooting more than 10 rounds, some people think they'll be going through 30 rounds really easily. I'm not one of those people. I think it's not going to be too serious, like all-out war. But nonetheless, this will be harder to reload. So will this, because you got to put all the rounds in, and then you got to put the rod back in as well. A little bit harder. The Mossberg's safer because you got to load it through the stock. This is a little bit more dangerous just in case if you forget you have one more round in the chamber and you got to reload it. Even on the off time when you're just not paying attention, you're sitting around and you want to reload your rifle after hunting, you never know. Accidents can happen anytime. This is magazine fed, has a little banana, and this also has a box 10 round, and now they're starting to come out with those 30 round magazines. So yeah, these two are pretty good. This one has the highest magazine capacity. This Mossberg holds 15 and this Marlin holds I think 19. So quite a bit. Now The action types, so we have 3 semi-autos and 1 bolt action. The thing about bolt actions are that they're very reliable because you're cycling it yourself, and you can easily, you know, work on the breech area if you need to. But it's slow, right? Very slow compared to semi-auto. It's also easier to service because all you need to do, now these rifles have been chamber checked already. All you have to do is pull the trigger and pull out the bolt, clean it up, clean up this, and get back to whatever you were doing. Semi-auto, a little bit more difficult. You got to pull the receiver out of the stock, the barrel receiver out of the stock, the trigger. You know, it's more complicated, and you got to clean out the trigger on these, and they're all gunked up. And if you want to do that on this one as well, then you also got to take out the stock and clean out the trigger. But to clean out the receivers, you got to do that. You got to take the whole thing apart, basically. And you know how dirty 22 LR ammo is, anyways. I've taken this one apart. Very hard to do. Very hard, very dirty too. And same thing with this Marlin up top. I've never taken the Ruger apart. I'm curious to see how dirty it is in there. Now for semi-autos, they're not as reliable because the actions get very dirty, and you know, when they get gunked up, you could experience problems. Now, but they are fast, so they do compensate a little bit, but when they jam up, they jam up. Then you got to work on them. A little harder to service, like I already said. So, you know, that's pros and cons, semi-auto and bolt action. I think bolt action would be great also for hunting, and if you're not using it for primary rifle, bolt action is the way to go. Semi-auto is also a good way to go because this Ruger is very accurate. I'm not too big of a fan of this because I think it just gets a lot of hype. Everybody has one, so everybody buys one. But they're very accurate. Excuse me. So also, I've just forgot, but each one of these can accept scopes, and each one of these can have iron sights. Actually, they all do have iron sights. So irons or scope, it's up to you. Really, it is up to you. I put a scope on those two because I would use them primarily for hunting. If I were going to pick another new 22 rifle for this specific reason, I would have it with a hunting scope on it as well. You know, that's what I need for small game and other stuff like that. Now, some other options that people are thinking about are probably like these takedown models, the AR-7 style. Even Ruger came out with a takedown 1022. There's a few other companies out there that I'm not really familiar with. You know, I can't really speak on them, but I mean the Ruger seems to be the same thing. But there's also those AR style and those SIG style, you know, those assault rifle, you know, those new battle rifle looking 22s. I can't talk about them. I mean, I think they're just worth too much money and too much weight for what they are. You want to spend your money wisely. You want to get what works. Just look at your stuff and kind of go a little basic. Don't get too fancy with it. The more fancier you get, the more problems you'll experience. Bolt rifle, great. 1022 is America's favorite. Marlin Model 60, just as great, and magazine fed now. So price ranges about $300 or less. These are also, this is less than $300, I know for sure. This, I wouldn't even worry about it. You won't find one. Marlins, I think, are about 190. No, I could be wrong. I think that's a Bass Pro price. I think it's about that much. So there's some prices. There's some things to look at. I can't narrow it down to just one. I'd have to say, in my opinion, bolt gun with a scope. That's my opinion. If you guys are experienced with rifles and stuff, please leave your opinion down below so other people can see it. And keep it clean. You know, don't get too carried away and argue with each other or whatever. And you know, keep the language to a minimum. You can argue all you want, just keep the language to a minimum. But yeah, share your experiences and share what you got so other people can see and converse so you can help other people. And that's what I'm trying to do with this video. This is not an end-all be-all. I just want to put some information out there, kind of open up this little forum for 22s to choose. Now I know you guys saw this Ruger Mark II handgun. This is also an addition I would throw into my setup not just for hunting, but also could be used for protection as well. So, you know, you could think about using one of those. Because when you get in a pistol engagement, you're probably going to be really close. So 22 could work, I would say, as long as there's nothing in the way, right? All right, guys. So that's all I had to say. If you guys have any comments, questions, please leave them below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Be it Merc out.